1912 Alabama Crimson Tide football team, all-team. The 1912 Alabama Crimson Tide football team, variously Alabama, UA or Bama, represented the University of Alabama. It was the Crimson Tide's 20th overall and 17th season as a member of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Association SIAA. The team was led by head coach D.V. Graves in his second year and played their home games at the University of Alabama Quad in Tuscaloosa and at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, U.S. They finished the season with a record of 5 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie, 5-3-1 overall, 3-3-1 in the SIAA. Before the season, Farley Moody was captain of the 1912 team. Also on the team were brothers Hargrove Van de Graaff and Adrian Van de Graaff, brothers of Robert J. Van de Graaff. Schedule. Source: Roll Tide.com, 1912 Alabama Football Archive. Game summaries. Marion Military Institute. To open the 1912 season, Alabama shoot out the Marion Military Institute 52-0 at the Quad in Tuscaloosa. The Crimson Tide took a 20-0 lead behind a trio of first-quarter touchdowns on a pair of runs by Holt Andrews McDowell and another by Adrian Van de Graaff. They then extended their lead to 33-0 at halftime behind touchdown runs by Hargrove Van de Graaff and Charlie Joplin. After a scoreless third, Alabama scored on a trio of fourth-quarter touchdowns and made the final score 52-0. The final points were scored on runs by McDowell, Hargrove Van de Graaff, and W.A. Barnes. The victory improved Alabama's all-time record against Marion to 4-0. Birmingham College. In their second game of the season, Alabama shoot out Birmingham College, now Birmingham Southern College, 62-0 at the Quad. Although Adrian Van de Graaff, Charles Long, and Farley Moody, the Crimson Tide thoroughly outmatched Birmingham. Touchdowns were scored by Hargrove Van de Graaff 4, Everett Wilkinson 2, Holt Andrews McDowell, Charlie Joplin, and Morgan Stickney. The victory brought Alabama's all-time record against Birmingham College to 3-0. The starting lineup was Hargrove Van de Graaff left end, James Gibbons left tackle, C.M. Hamilton left guard, C.D. Riddle center, Julius W. Hicks right guard, T.D. Bauman right tackle, Raymond Jones right end, Charlie Joplin quarterback, J.H.G. Riley left halfback, Holt Andrews McDowell right half. Georgia Tech. One source claims Tech athlete Al Loeb is best remembered for the 1912 Tech-Alabama game. The Tide were favored and outweighed the Tech team. Loeb gave a rousing pep talk before the game. Coach John Haseman said, "I think Loeb's speech did it. I've never seen madder playing than Al Loeb did that day, and inspired by him, we won." Loeb broke 3 fingers during the game, but had the doctor tape them up and returned to the fray to lead Tech to a 20-3 victory. Loeb recalled, "They were supposed to write their own score. We licked him 20-3. Tiz said I didn't miss a tackle all day, and there were plenty of 'em made." Also, Coach John Haseman had a heavy shift that left me on the end, so I was eligible as a pass receiver. I caught a couple too. I was also called upon to do a bit of blocking. We ran. Mississippi A&M. Alabama had its second consecutive SIAA loss over Mississippi A&M, now Mississippi State University. Georgia. In the Georgia game, the Bulldogs ran a trick play in which they threw the ball to a receiver who was dressed as a water boy on the field carrying a bucket. The play did not prove decisive, as Georgia fumbled the ball away soon after, but the Bulldogs won the game after they recovered a botched Alabama field goal and scored in the final minute. Coach Graves accused Coach Cunningham of violating the ethics of the game. Tulane. Alabama had a 7-0 victory over Tulane. A 35-yard run by Vandergraaf set up a short touchdown run by Stickney. Mississippi. Alabama beat Ole Miss 10-9 after the Rebels missed an extra point and 2 late field goals. Tennessee. The last win of the year came over Tennessee. SIAA. The Tide finished the season with a surprising tie against SIAA in what was the first Alabama football game played at Rickwood Field. There was a saying in the South that all SIAA had to do to defeat Alabama postseason. Moody was selected All-Southern. He died in France while serving in the First World War during the Battle of the Argonne Forest just a month before the armistice.